Crystal, Anthony C.R., Donna Ingram, 1955. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who catches this message. It's time for a party. I want to thank you all for joining in. Juan Lemos, bienvenido. Missy, Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Give me just a moment. I'm about to share the link out in TikTok land to let us know that we have started. Let's say locked and loaded with sarcasm. Aharon, Aharat. Robert Allen, Ethan, Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who catches this message. I want to thank you all for the party. Just to let you know, this party does have a purpose. We get together 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. time, Sunday through Fridays, to discuss 10 special interest groups and their perspective on organic marketing strategies. We use Sundays for question and answer. And then for the rest of the week, each of those 10 groups has their own day. So it's a bi-weekly exercise. We start with one side, and today's focus group is Highest Heights Studio. So yeah, just give me a moment. I'm sending out the link to share out to the family, and we will get started. African American, let's say, Calder, Bandit, Cootie, 293. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Akko, it's very tabah to have you here. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu assalamu alaikum. Minister Morel, I see you. It's very tabah to have you here. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. What was that? Jacob Oi? If you're panting like a dog, I would say please go get a cold drink. It said Jacob Oi. If you're thirsty for some knowledge, you came to the right room. But yeah, if you're like, please go get a cold drink. In just a moment, we'll go through stirring up some coffee, and I gotta grab my own waters. Sharon Jato, Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. Insider scoop, just to let you know, I'm actually talking to 2 different screens. One's YouTube land, and then the other one is TikTok. I haven't even opened up using a multi-stream on one of my devices yet, because this is how we started. And to be honest with you, when I do start doing multi-stream, it's going to be YouTube going to TikTok. I mean, YouTube and Twitch on one device and TikTok on the other. Because I want to make sure that I still have access to the comment section. This is not about me just sitting in front of some phones and talking. This is interaction. I'm going to need your input to go along and coincide with what it is I'm talking about. I'm not here to just go rah, 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 to you. This is meant to be a service. I can only tell you so much information, and it really doesn't help unless it's information that you need. So this is a give and take kind of thing. I might tell you something that sparks something in your mind, and I need you to let me know that happened. And then whatever questions you have about it, let's explore them. That's what this is about. We are rocking and rolling. We've been rocking and rolling since before the electric guitar. We've been rocking and rolling since before that boat that nobody wants to talk about, because we were already on boats. We were already rocking and rolling. We were traveling, visiting, and casting nets. Some things should not change. That's why we have reminders that tell us this is what we're supposed to be doing compared to what we're doing in a field of distractions. I want you to let that sink in. We are dealing with a field of distractions. Every day when you open your eyes, you got a choice. You can be focused on your mission, or you can immediately be distracted and then spend your day finding distractions. Well, how would I get my focus? Now we're going to talk about what today's party is really about. I want you to understand something. I have a specific definition for the word prayer. I don't invite just anybody to pray for me. You really can't. I have to pray for myself. I don't invite everybody to pray with me, because I don't know who you're praying to. You might even say the same name that I speak. However, I don't know if you are intimate with the one who I pray to, because there's only one. There is no interchange. There is no, oh, well, we can do it this way. No, there's one way. So no, I don't invite anybody to pray for me. I don't invite everybody to pray with me. And yes, there's a specific definition for prayer. There's action involved. There's what you think. Then there's what you say when you utter your prayer. And then there's your activity. I'm not talking about doing this or doing this. No. What are your activities? What do you do after you speak your petition? It's not about, well, I put so much heart and I used so many words and they were so elaborate and beautiful. So that doesn't matter. Adon, please give me strength so that I can finish my mission for today. Amen. Now, inside of that petition, I'm specifically saying, dear Lord, because there's only one, Adon. Dear Lord, give me strength to complete my mission today. That means I have to go about my mission. That doesn't mean wait for the right time or when I feel like doing it. No, it means I have to immediately get up and go start my mission. Selah. Got a lot of people coming in TikTok going, I need to speak to everybody, welcome and greet you. Give me a second. I need to trade out my chairs too. I'm sitting in this Papa San chair and it's real comfortable, but I need to be able to sit up like this so I can speak with you all. I'm kind of hunched over right now, which I don't mind because I don't stand up all the way straight anyway, but the other chair would be better. Por favor. Much better. Bueno. Okay. So we got a lot of visitors that have come to the party. Let's meet and greet with everybody. Start over here with Carlo Ramos. Bienvenido. Yo hablo español muy poquito. Bienvenidos. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bienvenido, welcome to the party. And let's see who we have over here in TikTok land. S1 Moan, I'm sure that means Simone or something like that. Christy Love has liked and liked and liked and liked. Ta-da, thank you so much. Tat Nayo, interesting name. Boss Lady T. Coco Baker. Pretty Girl Peach Forever. Donna Moore. Sandra Ed Thurman 1. User 83925544651177. Believe it or not, that's a familiar number, y'all. Ruby Henry Christ 131. Sharon Jato said you. Okay. And then down here at the bottom I saw Antonio Anatolivina. Bienvenido. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who catches this message and who has joined this party. Carrie Brown, CC. It's Bray 3. Ha ha ha. It's Bray 3 has jokes, everybody. You know, the lamest part of a joke is when you step into a room and lie while trying to talk about somebody who has a solid constitution. I don't consume tomfoolery, so there's no way that you're all up in my guts. It's Bray 3. You're hilarious. Really hilarious. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. We seek the protection of our Father against shaitan and evil ways while we travel on the divine path. Cite Psalms, prayers in order to become closer with our Creator. I'm about to recite Surah Al-Baqarah. No, not Al-Baqarah. Surah Al-Fatiha. It would take a while to recite Surah Al-Baqarah. So, Basmillah, Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka nabudu wa iyaka nasta'in, Ihdinas sirata al-mustaqim, sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim, walad dallin. Amen. In the name of our Father, the most compassionate, the most merciful, Lord over all worlds, the creator of our deen, the divine path, the most compassionate, the most merciful. We ask you to give us forgiveness when we disobey you like others have done in the past. We ask you to teach us how to forgive others when we feel that we've been trespassed by them. We thank you for giving us the deen, the divine path. Amen. It is said that when we pass away and we leave this reality that we all know and call life, we will go back and meet our Creator, each individual at their own time. And when we go there, we'll be asked, have you heard Al-Fatiha? If you've been listening for the last 2 or 3 minutes, yes. You heard Al-Fatiha in both Farsi and in English. Why do I say Farsi? Because Farsi means Persian. It is incorrect to call the Farsi language Arabic. An Arab is a nomad. Arabic is those who use the cultures of a nomad. Not every nomad speaks Farsi. By discipline, I learned the ways of Farsi. By heredity, I am a nomad. No matter what I do about it, whether it's the black on my feet or the blood coursing through my veins, I'm connected with Lakota Sioux just as much as I'm connected with the original standards of living on this planet. I don't claim some postal address and a zip code. Let that sink in. Selah. Crystal 991 McCurry. William Rodriguez. W.M. Fox. Hashim Yahweh Elohim. Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who catches this message. Akati Deborah, I see you. JJ Jake, I see you too. Hashim Yahweh Elohim. Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all. So as I started out saying, no, I don't want anybody coming up to me talking about, I will pray for you. You can't do my work for me. Prayer is work. You can't do my work for me. So no, you can't pray for me. You're not going to hear me talking about I prayed for somebody. I can't. I can't pray for you any more than I can do a bowel movement for you. Please understand that. And also understand this is adult. This is knowledge, wisdom, and conscientiousness. So if you're not prepared to actually speak real, this might not be for you. If you're running around trying to find some sincere milk, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to go to the nursery. Get the hints if you're worried about some sincere milk, because we're grown. Milk is for a lamb, not for a sheep, not for a ram, not for a lion, not for a grown human being. So no, don't come to me thinking you're about to get some sincere milk. You're going to get some sincerity. I'm lactose intolerant though. Take that how you want. No, you can't pray for me. And no, I don't pray with everybody. It takes what you're thinking, it takes what you're saying, and then it takes what you do. What you physically move your body to do, your activities. Why? Because your activities are written down. Y'all are used to watching the cartoons and you see this little, whatever they want to call it, an angel. Well, I'm here to tell you, by the way, angels don't wear nightgowns and have wings. That's not how it works. You have a little angel on one side and a little red person with some horns on the other, and they're talking back and forth. That is a crude and bad misrepresentation. You have an angel on one shoulder. That angel is there to write down everything that you think all day. The time is not writing down what you're thinking is when you're asleep, because then that angel has gone to report to Yahweh Elohim. You got an angel on this other side. It's writing down everything that you say and you actually do. So it's not going to be there while you're asleep. It's going off to report to Yahweh Elohim. And when they get there, Yahweh asks, so what's the individual been up to? This is what thinking, this is what they were doing. Okay. Since the last time we saw them. Okay, well, you return back and watch over them once they come back to their waking moments. It's an everyday thing. People talk about, oh, I got a guardian angel. I feel there's a guardian angel over me. That's not necessary. You are guarded and protected through birth because your spirit had already been created before it was put into this flesh body. You're protected by our protector. You've heard me say Allah. You've heard me say Yahweh Elohim. Well, how is it that I have the right to blend that together? Because it's the same concept. Allah, Allahu is the same thing as Elohim, Lord of all worlds, Adon. What is Yahweh? Our creator, our father, great rabbi, Rabbi Shfili. I can't represent that with a piece of wood, with a stone, or with some faction of imagination in my brain. That's why, no, you can't pray for me. Because I already got a direct link. I look up sometimes and I get information before I could even ask for it. I look up sometimes and there's another person repeating something that I said about 5 minutes ago or 5 days ago. And that person and I haven't spoken in that time. However, they say the same thing that I said in a scenario prior. That's called homologio. That's called same logic. When you're using the same standard. And when I see that, that's my reassurance. Well, there's a standard, and it comes from Yahweh Elohim, and there's other people who practice it. Those are the people that I like to maintain connection with. First, foremost, and anyone outside of that is coming from distraction land. Let it sink in. If you're not focused on the standards of Yahweh Elohim and actually going out and doing them, not just going around trying to tell people about it. No, do it. Do it and show your report. Show your work. What are you really doing? Show your work. I don't care about conspiracy theories. You can't conspire against what's righteous. Conspire all you want, righteous will still rise up. Conspire all you want. So no, I don't care about conspiracies. Conspiracies dabble in half-truths. Half-truth is a whole lie. So I don't need to go over there and explore lies. I'm focused on the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim. I'm focused on making sure that I'm taking care of my duties in that kingdom. So I don't have time to worry about a conspiracy. Whatever that conspiracy is doesn't have nothing to do with what's really going on. Who'd you vote for? I don't vote because we're not supposed to vote. What's there to vote for? Voting is the same thing as saying, I'll pray for you. What are you voting for? For somebody to stand up and say some words? You can't do it yourself. And then you complain because that's all that person will do after you vote them in is they just stand around talking and not doing anything that they told you they were going to do to help you. And they have a steady salary while you're trying to figure out how you're going to make ends meet. So no, I don't vote. I go look for like-minded individuals and start building and working on projects that actually are for community development. I'm not going to vote for somebody to go and stand up and give a speech, because during that time, during that 30-minute speech, during that 1 hour speech, there's another person right over here who needs food. who needs a place to stay, who needs clothing, who needs an actual occupation, and they need to feel valued. They need to actually know a purpose. So no, I don't want to sit and listen to a publican, a politician. I don't want to sit and listen to a preacher, because that's what that word means too. They just talk, tell you all about scripture. You know the difference between a preacher and a teacher? A teacher is going to show you how to live the experience. You might not like the subject. However, that teacher is going to expound beyond anything you even thought was even part of it, just so that you become intimate, knowledgeable about the subject. Don't offer to pray for me. And at the beginning of this, when I was reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, I was praying with you. And that's not even the whole complete prayer. I just recited one surah. If I were to do just a part of the prayer, since I'm actually a nomad, I have the excuse of being able to do 2 prostrations. And that would actually involve me reciting 2 different surah each time. And there's more that even goes with it, just saying 2 surah. That's why I didn't welcome all of you into that part, because not everybody is a promise keeper. Not everybody has taken the solemn pledge. Not everybody is Sahaba to me. Not everybody is part of the circle who has taken the pledge that says, La ilaha illallah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not everybody has taken that pledge. Not everybody has said, there is none worthy of worship except for Allah. Don't put God and deities or any of that in there. There is none worthy of worship except Allah. And it changes your whole perspective. The things that you got petitions for, you can't go to Allah and ask that. You can't go to Yahweh Elohim and ask the stuff that you've been asking and expect for you to actually get what you request. And there's a saying. When a person says, oh, well, I know my prayers were answered because I've received this blessing and that blessing and blah, blah, blah. Everyone will receive blessings according to what Allah chooses. Allah doesn't care if you are tabah, lawful, or if you are evil, haram. You could be tabah, halal, lawful, and doing all the things that you're supposed to do and still go through situations. Why? Because this whole life is a test. We were not designed to sit around on some cushion somewhere all the time saying, Lordy, Lordy, it's hot. Please deliver me from this heat. During this season of heat. That's why I told you, no, you don't just get to put your petition up and then it's just gonna work. So no, just because you've received blessings, you need to understand that was a test. Because then the question becomes, what are you gonna do with those blessings? You ever seen somebody that's got 2 cars in the garage and only drives one of them? Why you got 2 cars? What you trying to prove? Growing up, there was a man, went to church. Go into church, sit down in men's adult Sunday school to talk about the fact that he's got 2 lawnmowers. Why you got 2 lawnmowers? Well, I cut the grass different, on a different height in my front yard than I do in my back. Oh yeah? You know, they got some levers on the wheels, though. Raising Lord. No, I got 2 lawnmowers. So that became his name. Man had a name, first name, last name. But he got a new first name and last name. 2 lawnmowers. Because he was known more about lawnmowers than he was about his shim. What his occupation was, what his value was, what his duties were. What was he doing in the kingdom? Bragging about cutting some grass that don't feed anybody. Guess who had an issue with that? Huh? Brother Mad Truck, I saw you come in. I was just in the middle of talking. I didn't have a chance to properly greet you. Hashem Yahavalahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. By the way, did you happen to get my message? I sent it directly to your phone. It should have been my new phone number and the Discord link. I need to see you there urgently. It's time for us to get some things started. And I'm not going to start until we've got our people there. It wouldn't make sense for me to start up and then have to turn around and tell some people some things. You see, this is the tip of the iceberg, which on YouTube and TikTok. This is the tip of it. I can't share everything on TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, not even Twitch. Those are all sites that are Web 2. Why you call it Web 2? Because they're corporate owned. They are actually centralized. Bias. Tell them what to promote and what they won't. That's the reason why whenever we start displaying information, sharing information, all of a sudden people want to block us, ban us, and say that we were doing things that we weren't. So what I'm here to tell you is we need to start out in a safe place. And while we're in that safe place, we develop together and then we cast our nets back into a port like YouTube and a port like TikTok. Because that's all that this is. This is just a harbor. This isn't our HQ. That's why I'm always saying we're on a boat. And not every harbor is a safe harbor. Let that sink in. Topper, Gypsy K777. Hashem Yahavalahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Frida Samuel, 561. You missed it. I'm going to send it back to you again. Matter of fact, I called you. I don't give you a call right after this. Gonna work it out. Can't pray for me. Only a select few can pray with me. And then we got to look at what are we praying about. Somewhere around 2012 or 2013, started developing an idea for a program called STOP, S-T-O-P. Now, it didn't start just then. It started before I was born. It started within my granddad. And who knows who before him. So within him, it slowly moved through the children that he and his wife had together. They had 13 children. Well, the last two wanted to be involved in the community. I'm the first son of the baby. When I was 18 months old, I was introduced to my granddaddy. And at the time, if I was 2 feet tall, I was really 3 feet tall because of the size of my afro. My hair may have been in plaits at the time. I don't remember. My aunts and my cousins, they had some big old giant plaits in my head. Because I'm not one that's going to keep a nice, cute little hairdo. That's not happening. Even when I was little. If you try to braid my hair up and make all the designs, by the time I walk out of the salon, my hair is gonna go. So yeah, you'd still be able to see the patterns and everything, but my hair is, you see this? My hair is not gonna lay down for nobody. I don't care what you do to it. There was a young lady that would braid my hair up, and she used to braid up Allen Iverson. Here, spray this on it. Here, put this gel on it. Here, do this, do that. It didn't matter. My hair don't want to lay down, and I'm not going to make it lay down. So anyway, meet my granddaddy. I'm 18 months old. He looks at me, looks at my mama, looks back at me, and said, "I thought you brought me a boy." Now, this is not a story that my mama had to tell me because I was living the moment. I'm looking at this man who said, "Thought you brought me a boy." Now, all them 18 months that I've been living, boy, do this, boy, do that, boy, this. So I'm a boy. What's he talking about? Mama looked at him, but she knew what the problem was. His next words: "Cut that boy's hair." It got to the point where I get my hair cut about once a year. So eventually there was going to be a little fro going no matter what, right? And then early 80s into mid 80s, there was the shag. People would tell me, "You look just like Lionel Richie," but that ain't my dad. My biological father looks like Lenny from Good Times. My name is Lenny. And if I ain't got it, there ain't in that. That's what my biological father looks like. Not Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie had a daughter. She ain't there none of my sister. Man said, "Cut that boy's hair." And then after he made that statement, we took our bags on into the house and everything. And he was still holding me because the whole time he was holding me like this, looking me eye to eye. There's a picture of right after that of me and him, and he's holding me. That's the other reason why it's just burned into my memory, because I was living that moment. Now, that wasn't my first clear memory. I remember almost when I was 6 months old and fell over and cut the side of my head on the coffee table. Almost. I don't remember all the full details, but I do remember. I remember running around up and down the street doing all kinds of stuff before I was told, we about to leave and move. Now, it wasn't just me and my mama. It was auntie, her husband, they children, and all of that. I'm thinking we, right? Mom was like, "No, just me and you. We're leaving." And I wasn't too happy about that. That was my world. That was my people. That was my village. And I was being told that I was going to have to leave my village. I had that much connection, 18 months old. I said earlier that The angels are on your shoulders, reporting what you think and what you say and do. And that's all during your waking moments. That's when they gather their report. And then when you go to sleep, they go report to the throne of Yahweh Elohim. Guess what happens with me when I'm asleep? I'm visited by lucid dreams. Might as well say that I'm watching and directing my own movie. Whenever I fall asleep, I can see places that I've already been before, familiar places that I travel through all of the time. And then I also see new locations that I've never seen before. However, it tells me you will be going here soon. So I need you to act right when you get to this location. I'm sending you here. You're being called here, and when you get here, it's going to be familiar to you. I've had lucid dreams since I could remember. Who remembers waking up and then asking their parent, why am I seeing stuff when I go to sleep? Why is it that I can't move? I know I've been all over the place, but when I go to sleep, my body's not moving. I see everybody else asleep. They're not moving. Are you seeing stuff when you go to sleep? Who remembers having that conversation? I could tell you everything that was going on in my dreams, just like the Bruce Lee movie that I had watched a couple of hours prior to going to sleep. And no, it wouldn't be anything about Bruce Lee. It'd be about something else. About what was going on in my mind that I've taken in and had to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Some would say, oh, well, that's just your subconscious talking to you. Nah, because I got thoughts going on through my head all day. So when I'm asleep and I'm dreaming, it's still those thoughts. And I don't shove anything in the back of my head. If a thought occurs to me, I'm going to take a bite out of it right then and figure out, okay, what is this? Let's look at it from all directions, figure out what we're going to do with it. Wow. All right, now let's go. I don't put anything in the back of my head. For what? I used to get headaches from stress. Not because I was putting it in the back of my mind, because it was weighing heavy on my mind. Some people say that they get migraines. They have to lay in the bed all day because their head hurts so bad and they're nauseated. Really? My head would hurt so bad that one eye would be red. The other one would be just clear as day. This one would be red. Catch the sniffles and sneezes sometimes. You're thinking it's an allergic reaction, but the whole time, no, it was stress. People would say they got a migraine, they can't take it. Call in to work. No, I can't come in today. Child stay home from school. No, my head hurt too much. They can't concentrate. And guess what? Me being hard-headed and hearing about what a migraine is and all that kind of stuff, I'm thinking, well, I don't have a migraine because I can still get up and go function and do stuff. Yeah, it hurts, but I can still do stuff. Matter of fact, the more I take care of things, the more this headache goes away. So maybe I should not ever be laying down. Maybe I should go do something about what's causing my duress. That's why I remember meeting my grandfather at 18 months old, because I was already having lucid dreams and remembering them. I was already learning all kinds of stuff, talking in my life about it. Yeah, 18 months I was talking. At 18 months, they was calling me Einstein. I don't have to brag. 18 months. time I made it to fourth grade and had to start wearing glasses, that's when family started calling me Poindexter. But before that, it was Einstein. That's a little Einie with the afro to match. That's what that was about. That's a little Einie over there. I could have been called anything. But my afro, my mind, and my mouth made me little Einstein. Wrote a song about it. A strong one. Einstein. One strong. Might play it for you all at some point. Ahul Debratu. Hashem Havalahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you, your family, and your circle. That goes for everyone who is joining on the party. So, with all of that being said, and now you understand the type of person who trained me. Because after I met my grandfather, that's who took me under his wing. Anything that you hear coming out of me, first it came from him, and then I had to shape it with what he taught me, and put it into existence and work so that I could prove that I learned something. That's the man who told me, when you pray, you think it, you say it, you do it. That's the man who told me that. I was taught by a man who most people wouldn't have considered very intelligent unless you knew him. If you went off of his school record, then you would think, no, he's not that great, because he left school in third grade. He hadn't read all the big books and all of that. He didn't, no. The big book, there was one big book, the Bible. Everything else, you see, as he was training me up, I was learning some things about him that some people didn't know and they didn't recognize. And they thought there was something off about him. Because if you ask him, well, what does this verse mean right here in the Bible? He'd look at you and he'd say, it says what it says. What you mean it says what it said? Don't you mean it? No. It says what it says. Now the doubter wouldn't understand that this man knew a whole nother tongue, a whole nother dialect outside of the English that everybody was exchanging. And there were times where it would slide into whatever he was talking about. His T's and CH's. Sometimes. Couldn't tell if he was saying t or ch or cut. It just depended. I saw some of his notes. Everybody else was like, he's been writing these weird symbols inside of the lining in his Bible and blah, blah, blah. And I saw the symbols and was like, oh, I know what those symbols are. You think he was just being off and weird. I know what that is. You have to study to show yourself approved. I was exposed to some characters before I knew about these characters. I was exposed to life stories with him. By the time I met him, he was 78 years old. He had a lot to share. He was foreman on a plantation. He was a sharecropper. He retired as a sharecropper, passed away a couple of years later, retired as a sharecropper. 2002, 2023, passed away. Live in peace. We come from our Father, we shall return to our Father. May our Father be pleased when we return. Amen. I see you, Akon. Yeah, your hair is the same way. It's meant to be that way. We got a lot of stored energy in our hair. It's not going to just lay down. And it ain't just because, oh, well, you got all those kinks and twirls and twists. No, it's alive. It's an extension of our being. You leave it alone to do what it's supposed to do, and it's going to act right. When you start teasing, taming, and steaming and burning and all of that kind of stuff, don't come to me talking about I can't get a tattoo and you causing war on top of your head. Don't come to me talking about no tattoo. Don't come to me talking about no piercings. What are you doing that's natural? If I decide to put some kind of whatever on my body, I'm going to have to explain it. I don't got to explain it to you. I'll have to explain it. And I'm willing to stand up and do so. Don't tell me about no piercings. I learned on my own. I got 2 swollen earlobes now because I went and decided I wanted to pierce my ears back when I was a teenager. Come to find out, my body said no. 1, my mind said we're not going to be buying expensive jewelry. 2, even sterling silver was okay until it got to the point of, okay, well, if you don't wear jewelry, the hole will close up. The hole closed up, and then there was scar tissue that developed around it. Even though I didn't even have the piercings for that long, it didn't matter. The mark got put there. Because really at the time I was thinking, yeah, people are getting hoops and this and that, but then I was seeing these people who were getting ear stretching, right? And I'd already seen what was going on in National Geographic. I've seen it on the other continent made of all kinds of different countries, and they just want to call it one continent. I'd seen different tribes who were doing that, stretching their ears, stretching their lips, and all of that, stretching their necks. Thought to myself, well, now I don't really want to have the hanging earlobes when I take the disc out or the hoop out or whatever. I'm not going that route. And I'm definitely not going to be going and buying some expensive jewelry every time I want to put something in my ears. So into that. And also through that, like I said, when my ears healed up, there was scar tissue behind it. So now I got 2 fat earlobes that show exactly where I had some piercings. I learned, no piercings. Yes, I do have 2 tattoos. Might get more. That has nothing to do with me walking the divine path. You know how I know? There are so many different types of tattoos that people get. Here's something real simple for you. If I went out in the sun every day and had a stencil, you see the difference in the tone on my arm, right? If I went out with a stencil and had it placed on one of the light tones of my body and sat out in the sun every day, I'd wind up with a mark on my body of that stencil. Plain and simple. That's the reason why my body has different tones of color to begin with. What do I expose to the sun? Wearing these, I get little dots across the top of my feet. I purchased these maybe a couple months ago. You see this hole right here? The top of my foot is darker here than it is where this little strap is, and across here. My toes are dark, but then there's a line that's light. Across here, it's still matching from when I was wearing the Crocs. And that line there pretty much permanently as well too, because I do wear socks most of the time. So the sun is gonna shine right to the point of my ankle. So from my ankles up to about my knees, because I like to wear long shorts. The only time they're up above my knee is when I'm sitting down, but when I'm standing up, the The bottom hem of my shorts is usually below my knee. So my legs have a certain tone. Same way that you saw the difference in my arm, that's the same way. There's a difference between where this neckline is and all of this. So I reiterate, if I wanted to go outside and put a stencil on me and catch the sun, I would end up with that design on me. So don't come telling me about no tattoos. I'm tatted and kissed by the sun on a daily basis. Let it sink in. It's a lot. Told y'all I needed some water. I had the first 2 cups of the day of coffee. I think it's about time to do one of those good old Konya Hashrayals. Yep. Today's special interest group is Highest Heights Studio. It's my particular label, my label. You would say I own it. I am the sole proprietor. Everything that I own belongs to Yahweh Elohim. Highest Heights Studio is dedicated to all interests that are serving Yahweh Elohim. Each special interest group that we discuss has their own particular perspectives and focus on organic marketing strategies. Highest Heights Studio is dedicated to entrepreneurship. So how can we explore organic marketing strategies for entrepreneurs? Step 1. You cannot buy your viewers. You can't buy the amount of followers. You can't buy the amount of views. Do I need to repeat that? You know I will anyway. I'm in the middle of something right now. Coffee! This water is about to run out. Here. Yeah, they tell you not to drink a Coca-Cola. You know how many times water's been put in this bottle? I probably flushed the Coca-Cola out of my system right after I drank it because I'm drinking water all day. It's just another bottle for me. I got about 9 or 10 bottles that are in my collection that are refilled with water to water plants and to water myself. Gotten it down to where the plants that are outside, it takes about 4 to 5 water bottles to get them watered and straight. So that's why I like to keep about 10 bottles. That way, if I do run through 4 or 5, I still got some that I can always just grab and drink. I keep my boots over there. I usually put 1 bottle in each of the boots, and that's my gauge. Run out of water, put it to the side. When I get about 3 or 4 empty ones, fallen soldiers, I go and I replenish it. Man once tried to stop me in the middle of the store. I'm on the coffee aisle. First, he was trying to tell me about how creamer is poisonous. And so that's what I did. I laughed, right? I was like, man, why are you trying to tell me about creamer? I'm lactose intolerant. Well, and then he saw me step over a little bit more because I was looking for some instant coffee. Coffee's bad for you too. Man, breathing can be bad for you. What are you talking about, man? Well, I just mean, you gotta watch out. I drink a cup or 2 of coffee a day. and I drink water. Well, yeah, you still got it. You know what? Have a great day, sir. Just have a great day. Don't need you trying to tell me how to run my system. Because you ain't telling me nothing that would actually help me. You haven't inquired if I'm actually filtering my body. You don't understand that coffee has a specific function besides being a stimulant. It thins the blood and flushes out the system. Matter of fact, you can get real dehydrated from drinking a couple of cups of coffee. So, I'm drinking water all day. My system's getting flushed and filtered, and I'm getting a little bit of energy. I'm gonna need for you to move on. You all up in my space, giving me some toxin, trying to tell me that I'm looking at some toxin. You are being toxic. I don't need that information. Matter of fact, looking between us, your type of melanin ain't my type of melanin. My melanin is cool with this, likes it, craves it. If I don't have it, tell me you need to get something. We tired of water right now. Coca-Cola don't make me energized. A Monster drink won't make me energized. There's only one particular type of energy drink, and it's called Ripit, R-I-P-I-T. That's the only one that actually affects me to where I can feel the stimulant. I like those because they do have all those vitamins and everything else. Problem is they got taurine in it. None of us need to be consuming bull bladders. None of us. So we don't need to have taurine in our system. So no, I don't drink energy drinks unless I'm just prompted at that moment. But no, that's not something I go out and do on a regular basis. I get energy going and hanging out in the sun. I get energy when I open my eyes first time of the day. And I say, come from our Father, turn to our Father. May our Father be pleased when I return. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praises to our source of sustenance and mercy. Amen. My energy comes, my directive comes, my sense of purpose comes, and I stay focused on that. Because I've already just spoken my prime directive for the rest of the day. This is just a booster. I don't lean on this for my energy. I was up for about 4 or 5 hours before I had the first, I call it 2 cups because of the size. How long have we been on? We've been on for an hour. So we made it to the top of the first hour. I'm about to get into Highest Heights Studio, organic marketing strategies in the perspective of an entrepreneur. Y'all know about this? You feel like you're in a sunken place in life? You're looking up and it just seems like to get to the top, to escape this hole is so far away in some kind of sunken place. I feel like that. You know, there's something you can do about it. Yahashaya. Hizan Yahashaya. to be organic. You cannot buy your followers. You cannot buy the amount of views that you have. To be organic means you place your product and your service available for people to see your content. People are driven to your work according to their interest. A person who's interested in penguins, they want to know everything about a little bird and lives swimming down in Antarctica. They want to know about penguins. They want to know about penguins that have been in other parts of the world as well. They want to know about penguins. So you post up a picture, bird in a business suit. Here's a secret for you. That's why I'm giving this example. Penguin means business bird, because that's not its original name. All right? Bird in a suit. If you generate a picture of a bird wearing a suit, doesn't matter if it's a sparrow or a hawk or a penguin or an ostrich or whatever, you said that you wanted to have a picture with a bird in a suit. You put that picture up, and then in the details, you put hashtag penguin, hashtag black and white bird, hashtag bird in a suit, hashtag ostrich in a suit. People are going to pick up because there's some people out there looking for information about penguins. People are going to pick up because there is an actual trace back in a certain language where if you say that name in that language, it means bird in a suit. It's very close. Penguin became the word that was used. However, it's not the principle. It is not the original. So even though you might be trying to make a joke post about a bird in a suit, you get over to reach so many other people by using key phrases and key terms. That's organic marketing. And then if you really want to be serious about it, there's evergreen content. For everybody to talk about, well, what about Trump? And what about if we elected so-and-so? And blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? Nobody's going to care in about 6 months. There's people that don't care now. So unless you put # Trump, the only people that's going to see it are the ones that's just talking amongst themselves, talking about Trump. I don't care about # Trump. I don't care about # conspiracies. I don't care about # Republican or # Democrat. I don't care about # communist or # socialist. You know why? Because we really haven't seen proper communism. In communism, there is no one direct leader who tells everybody what to do. There is no governing body in proper communism. There is no governing body in socialism. So anytime you heard about, well, there's leader so-and-so and did blah, 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 well, that was not communism. That was not socialism. You've seen every example of oligarchy, totalitarianism, and capitalism. That's 10,000 years. Capitalism in every way, shape, or form. You've seen Babylon change names and change faces, but still be the same thing. And here we are trying to change names, and we can't change our face. And still going through the same thing because out of choice, decided to stay there. It was more convenient than to actually walk away and deal with some. We're all blessed the moment that we are born. The moment that we are put inside of a flesh body, we are blessed. We are blessed from that moment all the way up until the moment that we are taken away from that flesh body. Whether you acknowledge your blessings or not, they are there. And most of the time, they're not going to just fall in your lap. You're going to have to get up and go put in some effort. There's been quite a few people coming in on TikTok land. I've been in the middle of talking, so I haven't stopped to acknowledge you all. Carrie Payne, Barbie, ABF9Y, Cassie, Miles, Mariah, Paula Rose 645, Q16, Hashem Yahavalahim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, Warahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all who attend this party. When you go to these platforms and you're uploading your content, hey, how about you boost your views? How about you spend $10 here or $100 there to boost your views? That's not organic. If you want to sit and dwell on something that has become a hot topic and a talking spot, that is not evergreen. Let me tell you some evergreen content. Go post hashtag Monroe Doctrine. Here recently in the news, there was a public speaker who called the Monroe Doctrine the Monroe Document. Now, who knows how long the Monroe Doctrine has actually been around? Because there's a big difference between a document and a doctrine. Who knows what the Monroe Doctrine is? You make evergreen content when you post up a picture of the Monroe Doctrine and read out what it says. Because this was a proposal. This was a compromise from a newly born country. And they were trying to decide how much they should be involved in politics, considering the span of the globe and what they want to actually conquer. So in this particular doctrine, it stated that this newly born country could not go onto the eastern side of the globe. They were considering the Western Hemisphere to be all theirs. North, Central, South America. No reason to go over to the other side. Monroe Doctrine. People weren't walking around with a piece of paper in their pocket, pulling it out and saying, oh, here you go. This is Monroe Doctrine. No. Man spoke it on the Senate floor and said, this is how things should be. And they said, okay, well, that's what we're going to do. That's a doctrine. The actual printed, published piece of paper with the words recorded on it came after the fact. There was no, oh, we need some people to sign off on this. No, this ain't the Bill of Rights. This ain't the preamble of the Constitution. This ain't none of that. We don't need a whole bunch of people to sign off on this. This man spoke something that we all stand on. That's what we're going to do. By the way, let's go on and print it up so that everybody knows what it says. That's a doctrine. Evergreen content is taking that last little 1 minute segment of me talking, post that up, then put hashtag evergreen, hashtag organic, hashtag content, hashtag Monroe Doctrine. Done. Organic strategies even through a public service announcement. So now you can put hashtag service announcement, or you can put hashtag PSA. Because the people who are looking for PSAs and information, they're looking for that. And then when they're going to share it out with people. This is the reason why I specifically tell you all, do not send me garbage. Send me information. My family did not feed me garbage. They fed me information. They didn't call me little pork chop. Do you understand what I'm saying? They didn't call me little ignoramus. Do you understand what I'm saying? They ain't call me little nothing, by the way. I ain't never been a little anything. That J in my name, that those who know me as TJ, that does not mean junior. No. As a matter of fact, now that I've come closer into knowledge, I realize my name is Tet Yod Tav. That's my real name. Along with 3PROJH. And most people can't factor it because of all the things that are going on with that name. They say that Yahweh will give you a name that other people won't understand, but you will know exactly what it is. Okay. So right. So right. My name is Tet Yod Tav because that's what my mother named me. TJ. J is not real. However, Yod, Yehovah, that is real. Yod. Tet Yod Tav. That's my name. That is my authority. And if you go and look up all the things associated with it, and then come back and look at me. Oh. How much people in the back? Oh. That's why I call myself angelic discipline, so that there's no confusion. What is 3P Roge? 3P, plan, produce, peace. What is Roge? Wind, spirit, soul. What some would call Ravak or Ruach. Well, since can't nobody get it right, I'm going to put ROJH. And now what most people don't understand is if you know anything about algebra and calculus, 3PROJH is an equation. Anybody who has gone into their Mycenaean symbols, Rho. That's one of the symbols. J ain't even in Mycenaean tongue. Well, who is the Mycenaeans? The people you call Greek. That's the Mycenaeans, not Greek. A particular style of a statue is Greek. A particular style of a rug is Oriental. You don't call a person an Oriental. That's disrespectful. A particular is Oriental. A particular statue is Greek. A particular clothing, not the person. See, that's where I come from. The more informative you are, the more you will actually draw in people who want to actually communicate with you. The more people will want to actually explore what it is you're talking about and then share it with other people. Now, there's a key to this, because I've already said we are trying to get away from Web 2. Now, we can always come back and visit, but no, this is not our headquarters. Not by far. Because when you go to Web3, where it is decentralized, meaning investors cannot influence what you are saying. Investors can't block your signal. Investors can't shut down what you've posted. Because it doesn't matter about their interest and who they're going to make sure that's been lobbying is going to keep on paying them. No, because it's something that was made by the people. Who remembers the actual CB radio? Who remembers what a ham radio is? If you didn't want to use a telephone, CB radio, a scanner, and you still see people having to push a bunch of buttons. All you gotta do is dial into the right frequency. Breaker 19. It's a radio check. Breaker 19. Oh, ain't nobody on here? Channel 10, calling out. Oh, nobody on here? Channel 24. 1020 on anybody? Whether you're sitting at home with a strong signal, or if you're driving around town, or if you're traveling, there is a way to communicate. The reason why I'm in front of you now is because most of y'all have chosen these channels. And I'm here to tell you, it's kind of a futile attempt to call yourself doing righteous deeds in a place that is steadily trying to suffocate you. After a while, see, you need to stop banging your head against the wall. After a while, you really need to stop going and trying something, thinking that it's going to change in the same environment and getting the same result. Eventually, you need to stop working. Different. You on doing that exercise, at least you got results somewhere else, and you hold on to those results. Because then when you come back over here and you're banging your head against the wall, now it's because you just want some other people to know that you're banging your head against the wall. So y'all don't understand. I do have some willow bark over here to chew on so I don't have a headache. All right. I'm good. I'm Taba. I'm halal. However, I just want you to know I'm over here banging my head against this wall in an effort to catch your attention. Now, what are you going to do to help me so I can stop banging my head against the wall? That's what that is. I'm the captain of this vessel. We gonna take you on a cruise. Highest Heights Studio is an umbrella. STOP, STOP, is a community development program. Sustenance, textiles, occupations, purpose, stop. If we all had correct sustenance, if we all had access to textiles for building materials and clothing, if we all had proper occupation, if we were actually occupied with our real focus, then we would be attending to our true and righteous purpose. Started before I was alive. It started before my granddaddy. And it was carried on through him. Granddaddy, when am I gonna learn how to drive a tractor? No, boy, this ain't for you. Can I drive at all? We'll talk about that when you get to that age. Highest Heights Studio is an umbrella. What's an umbrella? That means that it's a company that is willing to be a covering while other companies get established, grow, and can stand on their own. And all of those companies that are underneath the umbrella are interdependent, not just with the umbrella, they are interdependent with each other. We've got 10 special interest groups that we discuss. However, it breaks down even deeper than that. And those 10 special interest groups are interdependent. I could sit here and tell you about what goes on with it all day. However, there's one missing ingredient, one main missing ingredient. I could tell you all day about what's going on in my head with all that stuff. Can't tell you anything about what you're thinking and what you are doing until I can see it. Until you show that you've been doing something. In case you didn't know, and in case you didn't get the memo, hashtag SOC, hashtag Women in Red, hashtag Brothers in... The STOP program is for you. When you hear each other saying to each other, get in position, okay? Get in position. Where's your resume? I need to see your resume. I'm not playing with you. Where's your resume? Where's your business proposal? Because having a business doesn't mean, oh, I gave it a name and now I'm putting it up here to let everybody know. No. A true business proposal is going to be the plans laid out on the table, made plain, so anybody can look at it and go work with it. Where's your proposal? Where is your general idea of where you plan on going with your idea? What can you tell me that's a sketch out? Oh, I've been thinking about it. What have you been thinking then? Tell me. Tell me. You need to open up your mouth and start using it. Because if you don't, it's going to be something sitting in the back of your head and it's never going to develop. If all you're doing is thinking about it. What are you doing to make it happen? Who remembers Lean on Me? I have been compared to this brother in so many ways, it's just ridiculous. If you don't know this quote, I won't say shame on you. I'm gonna just tell you, you need to go back and watch the movie. Why you standing on the edge right here? You might as well go on and jump. I heard about what you be doing. Why you killing yourself slow? Go on and jump. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? If you spend your activities doing things to slowly kill yourself, go on and finish it. Just take care of it now. Expeditiously. If you're ready to live, then you can come and walk through this door with me now, away from this edge. But otherwise, stop playing. Morgan Freeman. Brother Rich, I see you. Nancy Princey Numa. There's a lot of people in. Ta-da. Thank you for all the love. Hashem Yahavalahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. It's very tava to have you here, Brother Rich. For those of you who know, there is a group called the Promise Keepers. Unfortunately, I only got room for like 31 people in the group. If you don't want to be in the group and you're in the group, I need for you to either go on and bow out or state your reason why, or whatever the case may be, because there are people who are concerned with sustenance, textiles, occupations, and purpose. That's what the Promise Keepers is about. You made a vow that you're only going to serve and work for Yahweh Elohim. So you go to the Promise Keepers group and you share ideas amongst each other about what you're doing, what you see other people doing, and what we all could be doing, because this is not a coalition. This is not a think tank. This is let's get active right now. What can you do? What can you do? See, I don't play sports, but I'm a great coach. You want to play some football? Okay, I know what to do with 11 people. Quarterback, 2 wide receivers over there, and all that. Linemen, blocking, boom, boom, boom. Offense. Defense. I got my linebackers in the back. Got my men on the front. Nose guard going to take out that center. You know what you're supposed to do. I need for you to knock him out so we can get in there and take out that quarterback. Not the games. I'm a great coach. Put me on the basketball court and I'm going to play I versus me 21. I shoot the ball. The rebound comes to me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. You are in, Bruder Rich. Yes, sir. That's possible, Brother Thomas. It's possible. As far as I know, my screen is fine. That's also the reason why I tell everybody this. Yeah, I see my little notification saying resume live and everything else. This is not a place where I expect to have a 100% clear and straight signal. That's something I want you all to understand. I don't care if the signal is buffering. That's proof that this is not a safe place. We need to go where the signal doesn't break. It's buffering because of the information that I just got through telling you. I don't need you to tell me that it's buffering. I need you to tell me that you are comprehending the words coming out of my mouth and that you're ready to move and make a change. Don't tell me about what the signal is doing. I already know that. Exactly. When you go to somebody else, they're going to expect you to talk a certain kind of way. They're going to expect you to only use it for a certain amount of time. And they're going to expect you to not do anything against their household rules while you're on that phone. This ain't my phone line. TikTok is not my phone line. YouTube is not my phone line. This is a harbor. This is a port where I cast a net. Do you understand where it's coming out of my mouth? This is not my headquarters. Go and start up a website. And then when you get done with that, go and start up a profile on Web3 using cryptocurrency. How many places do you go where you can actually not just have a coin, but you actually have a profile affiliated with it so that anybody that you talk with who also has their own coin, there is no issues. Freedom of information. And I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm not talking about Tron X. I'm not talking about any of that mess, because no, you don't get those same privileges investing in Bitcoin. No, I'm talking about a completely different cryptocurrency. I'm talking about where you can go into a community that is actually named Desocialized World. And it's a decentralized platform meant for people to be able to grow while they share information. You post up something and then you give some information about it, and a person can come in and they're not just going to put a like and a heart and all of that. You get tipped. Anything that's tipped in there, it goes back to your e-wallet where you can use it as whatever type of cryptocurrency you want to use. You can translate it into US dollars, or you can just hold it and invest. Don't tell me the signal is tripping when I already told you that this is not my house and they don't like how I play with their toys anyway. That's the reason why I'm coming here telling you that there's some other options. And those who are serious about it, I'm the captain on this vessel. Oh, the signal is messing up. Well, you know what? I'm about to go back over here and take a nap. I was in the middle of sleeping. Y'all came to wake me up to let me know that there's a storm outside. Great. Who's on this boat? We are and you are. All right, I'm going to go back and go to sleep then. Anybody catch that? Catch that? Those who are in the Promise Keepers, you have been given a ticket. That ticket will get you to the next level. Those who respond correctly in the Promise Keepers, you're given a ticket so that we can go over to Discord and have open discussions. There is no issue about somebody buffering the signal there. We can openly chat with text, and we can also open up audio rooms. The same way you can invite people to come in and chat and text and all of that, you can open up a room where everybody shares that same microphone and speaker. What's the difference between Zoom and that? When you go into a Zoom meeting, most of the time you have to sit there and be quiet and just listen to whoever is moderating or directing or hosting the Zoom meeting. You might get a chance to talk at some point. But really, no, we go in and we get some information, and then, either at the beginning or at the end or even both, we all greet each other and all of that, But how about daily? Every day. How about from the moment you open your eyes to the moment you go to sleep, you know that there's a place you can reach out to where people will respond. Our Kohelet told us about the word humility and to be humble. Who remembers that? Humility means to focus. Humility means to be occupied. Humility means to respond. That means a humble person is active, not sitting over there being modest and demure. No. That's not modesty anyway. That's you sitting over there being quiet. That's not humility. A humble person is going to be so occupied in what they're doing that you coming and asking them to step away from what they're doing, the most you're going to get is, while they're going and do what they're doing. That's a humble person. I ain't going to argue with you. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing that. And that should be your answer. How or why are you doing what you're doing? You can either come along and work with me and find out, or you can just stay over there and watch. Because I'm focused on my occupation. Every person who starts up their profile on Discord has the opportunity to be a host. And if you don't want to be a host, you can still join in with other groups. And we can freely discuss things. We don't have to watch what we say or how we say and all of that kind of thing. That needs to stop immediately. Oh, I got to guard my tongue over here because if I say the wrong thing, then they'll shut me down. Is you crazy? I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't change my vocabulary or my mode of speaking. I'm going to say what's on my mind. And I'm going to shoot it to you straight. No chasers. I'm not going to pat you on your head and tell you you did a great job if you didn't. I'm going to let you know you're slipping, you fell short. Do this because we're striving for excellence. We are striving for the best. And that doesn't mean I've spent $1 million on a house, so I got the best house. Are you sure about that? I've seen some of these $1 million houses. I've been in and out of them. Some of those houses, the only reason they was worth anything is because of the furniture that was in them. I know that because I was moving the furniture. By the way, if you buy a bed and you can't move it yourself, don't buy that bed. You know how much of a headache it is to have two men, it takes two men to move a footboard. And then each man might need two men to move the posts for those footboards. And then they got to gird up their loins to move that headboard. That's ridiculous. When your nightstand is the size of a dresser, that's ridiculous. Now, how do I know about this? I spent 10 years in the moving game. Load up a truck, drive away, get to where we need to go, unload the truck. Now, why am I saying drive? Because all that stuff was commercial. Now, how did I get there? I traveled until it was time for me to lead the team. And then I drove that truck from point A to point B. And then back to the headquarters. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Selim loves Dior. Okay. Interesting name. Shalom Barak. Hashem Yahweh Elohim. Shalom Barak. Allahu assalamu alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. It's to everybody. We're at the hour and 44 mark, and it looks like we're at the top of the hour. Let me see. How far did we get here? Excuse me. All right, so we talked about Promise Keepers. Promise Keepers is a group that's in TikTok land. I'm the host of Promise Keepers. So if I come in there and say something and it sounds kind of harsh, it's because, like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, if you're looking for sincere milk, I need for you to go to the nursery. You don't need to be talking to me. I'm lactose intolerant. If you want some sincerity, oh, I got you. And as far as milk is concerned, it's for a lamb. I'm speaking with grown people. Milk is not for sheep, not for rams, not for lions, not for grown people. You want some sincerity, I got you. You want some intelligence, I got you. You want some wisdom, I got you. You want some conscientiousness, I got you. But if you want a pat on the head, I'm going to tell you, you need to go on down the street. You're not going to find that here. I will hug you and embrace you and congratulate you in the proper fitting. And then I will also tell you, look here, this is the rod, this is the measurement, and you're not measuring up. Let's do something about it. I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to show you how you can actually be halal in what you're doing. Be whole, be holy, be righteous completely. As my brother Matt Trucker would say, when I'm slipping, tell me, please. If you have any questions about anything that I'm saying, state the questions. If you have suggestions of how you think things should be done, state it, say it, act, move. Wal Ashr. Surely mankind is at a loss, except for those who practice patience and consistency and do tabah deeds amongst each other daily, constantly. Be sabir. Alhamdulillah. Ameen. Surah Ashr. ASR. You see, my mission is to remind everybody to remember the day of Ashr.
What's that? I heard of Feast of Tabernacles and all of that, and the trumpets, and what's the day of Ashr?
You heard of Passover? It's the day after Passover. What was Musa doing the day after Passover? What were the children of Yahashariah doing the day after Passover? That's the reason why you have to remember Passover, is to remember the events that were going on. What led up to Passover? What was the Passover? Children of Yahashariah had to leave Kemet. And that following day, they crossed the Sea of Reeds. And when Pharaoh and his troops tried to follow, they were drowned in the Sea of Reeds because the children of Yahashariah had been granted a safe passage over. That's the day after Passover. That's the day of Asher. Well, guess what else happened in a similar situation like that? There was a brother named Ibrahim. Ibrahim gathered up quite a few people, and they went and fought 7 evil kingdoms that were polytheists, that were going against the ways of Yahashariah, going against the ways of Yahweh, because there was no Yahashariah yet. And after they defeated those kingdoms, Ibrahim met a certain priest of the Melchizedek order. He gave him a tribute. He didn't give the tribute to the priest. The tribute was a seal saying, this is how we are going to establish ourselves and keep it that way. This will be the standard. We went and got rid of all of them folks because they were not going to be doing the way that we do. We don't need to even tolerate them. We don't need to make sure that they're okay and we'll just let them be. No, got rid of them. Eradicated them. Not decimate. Not we took 10% out. No, did it eradicate, erase, go. You're not welcome here. When Ibrahim made that pact with that priest from the Melchizedek order, That was the day of Asher. That's why we remember the day. Now, if memory serves me correct, that meeting happened before the angel of death passed over Pharaoh and his company. Everybody wants to tell you about, they painted blood all over the doors and they did all of that. Everybody wants to tell you about how our Messiah broke bread. I want to tell you all about all of that. Tell me about why they stood on specific standards. Tell me about the lineage that led up from Adam all the way to Yahashua HaMashiach. Tell me about each and every one of the individuals who actually stood up and said, hey, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Y'all need to stop. Tell me about those individuals, men and women. Yahweh Ahaba. Our creator is love. Ahaba Ahaba. Love is love. If you see someone in need, if you see someone that needs your help, don't wait for them to ask you for help. If it's within you to actually see that they need it and it registers with you, do something to help them. Whether it comes straight up out of you or you go find whatever it is that they need and you just bring it straight to them. Here. That's what you do. You don't wait. If you see somebody in need, that means that your empathy, your compassion actually is working. So you do the next step. I'm going to talk to our Father about it. Well, our Father already knows. Our Father is waiting for you to do something about it. You don't got to tell him. Tell our Father that you're doing something about it by doing it. That's when our Father is pleased with your work. MashaAllah. Our Father is pleased with your work. Not pleased with your words or pleased with your intentions. No, your work. What are you doing? That's complete compassion. To go and help someone, even if they don't ask you. And no, we're not expecting a thank you out of it. We're doing this because that's the service that we are supposed to do within the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim. That's the standard. That's complete compassion. Amitabha, Ametofo. Those are ways of saying compassion in both Chinese and Japanese. Hashtag kindness is contagious. Go out there and be the reason why somebody else has a smile on their face. Go out there and help somebody. Ayúdame. Help me. I'll have to look at the schedule to see what tomorrow is going to be as far as our focus group. I see Kati Mavis. I see you. I'll check the schedule. However, you're welcome to look at the same cheat sheet that I'm going to look at, besides the fact that I have it written in a notebook. If you scroll through and you see any pictures, understood, Akati. If you scroll through any of my profiles and you see a picture with an elephant on it, and then you see a list of days, and then there's names of whatever on the side, that's the schedule. That's the standing schedule. That's always going to be there. Tomorrow might be Mafia Soy Publications Day or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head. We have something to do and talk about every day. Those who have been invited to the Promise Keepers group, it's been extended to you to go to Discord. I'll tell you something about TikTok. If you try to share a link inside of TikTok, they don't activate it. It has to be something that is related to TikTok. They don't allow you to be able to share a clickable link going to other sites. So yeah, I could put it in there, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to use it like that, which would mean that you would have to use your discipline and actually copy the link and then go and search it to pull it up. I'm very well aware that that's going on. Once again, that's why TikTok is not a safe place. Can't say too much more about YouTube. I mean, the reason why I also am not going to share that Discord link out is because it don't need to go to everybody in the public. So the Promise Keepers group is actually a filtering process. Those who are actually willing to actually go the extra mile, those who have actually corresponded back and forth with me in direct messages, and I'm talking about off of this platform, people who actually have exchanged phone numbers with me and we've actually had conversations. That's who gets to go to the Discord group, because the Discord group is actually class in session 24/7. Go there, speak your mind, ask your questions, and we can answer them amongst each other. I don't have all the answers. I have quite a few, but no, I don't have all the answers. Someone else may have something that I need to know about. And I'm not going to go around in circles on this thing, YouTube included, TikTok, Facebook, all of that. I'm not going to go around in circles, and I'm not going to have to use coded language in order to speak with the people, in order to speak with my family. I should not have to use a coded language. We're having to use a coded language because what Neely Fuller Jr. already lined out for us, that code. And some of us have forgotten to use that code. Number one on that code, we should not greet each other at all unless we are meeting each other on some positivity and some growth. And you're going to know that simply by the greeting. Much love for Brother Mad Trucker, because he has one rule. When you step into this room, greet everybody with peace and respect. After that, say whatever you want to say. The least you can do is show respect for humanity. Show respect that the next person has a brain just like you do. The next person has a soul just like you do. Show respect. Then after that, yeah, you can freely speak. Go right ahead. Be at ease, soldier. But first off, show some respect. And that's rule number one. And after that, it's let's have conversations. Not arguments, not debates. Let's have some conversations where we can actually build something and get somewhere. Still on. I owe a phone call to my brother after this, so I don't need to keep on running on talking. Yeah, we've done 2 hours. Many much love and respect to all of you. Inshallah, Adon willing, we'll be back on tomorrow, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to discuss even more topics. You see, from YouTube and TikTok over into the Promise Keepers, and then from the Promise Keepers over into Discord is how we're going to get into really exploring and using cryptocurrency. I'm not going to give you all the ins and outs through YouTube Live and TikTok Live. No. Because there's too much involved. There's too much information involved. And before I even dig into any of that, I'm going to need for you all to actually be showing some activity. And here's a simple one for you. We're going through an exercise right now on going to an AI site called Night Cafe Studio. Go there, type in a prompt of the picture that you want. Allow the computer to generate that picture. I'm not talking about using ChatGPT. I'm not talking about using Google AI prompt and all of that mess, because to be honest with you, the prompts that you need are already on Night Cafe. They've always been there. When ChatGPT and Google Prompt and everybody else want to tell you, oh, we've got this new thing, and by the way, you need to pay for a subscription, I'm here to tell you, there's a free option that was already there. As a matter of fact, this free option is going to allow you to be able to start doing some organic marketing strategies. Class is always in session. If I reach out to you directly and I tell you I need you here, there's a reason. Many much love to all of you. Shalom Akati, I see you. Shalom to all of you. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom HaBarak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, Wa Rahmatullahi Wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who has caught the message, your families and your circles. Kohelet, I see you. Many much love and respect to you and to everybody. Till next time.